Hey, what's going on, CoinOpTV subscribers? Robert Welkner here. Let's talk about The Mandalorian Chapter 8, which is called Redemption on Disney+. This video will contain some spoilers. I'm assuming you've already been watching the show, or maybe you don't have Disney+, and you want to know kind of what's going on with The Mandalorian, and that's why you're watching some of these videos. But anyway, really enjoyed the finale. Epic battles, epic action, epic storytelling. We delved into a lot of world building sort of things, and we had just a great moments overall. Pretty much not a lot of complaints with the finale of the show. I think overall The Mandalorian was a great show. There was a couple episodes in the middle which I thought took a little bit of a dip. And, we really started off high, took a little bit of a dip, and then we ended really high and great. So that's what's important, because you'll remember how things kind of ended off, right? And then you'll be waiting for more episodes. Apparently, fall 2020, we're going to get The Mandalorian Season 2. Chapter 9 and on, I guess. I don't know how they're going to name these episodes, but let me get to some of the bullet points and some of my show notes here, some specific things I want to talk about that were sort of important to the episode. We found out that Cara Dune is from Alderaan, which is Princess Leia's homeworld that was destroyed in Star Wars: A New Hope. So that kind of makes it even more intense that she's got the tattoo and she's against the Empire and all that stuff. Moff Gideon calls Mando by his real name, Din Djarin, which of course we knew from an interview online from Pedro Pascal already, but something that wasn't really mentioned in the show already. So he's Moff Gideon is up there just kind of showing his knowledge, his supremacy there, calling everybody out. And then with Grief, he says that he's a disgraced magistrate. So I don't really know what that is and how much we'll get into Grief's backstory, but we'll sort of see. As we expected, we get the full flashback of the Mandalorian getting shoved into the little container there by who we think is his parents, and then getting saved by the Mandalorians, fighting against the droids, and then I guess he is raised as a foundling. So during the big epic battle there, the Mandalorian and his team are sort of hunkered down inside of the bar, Grief's bar there, and they escape underneath and go to the tunnels underneath there, and they run into the Mandalorian female armorer, and she gives a whole bunch of backstory, exposition-y sort of lore drop right there. She decrees that the Mandalorian must care for the childling, the child, and they're bonded together. She gives them a little crest there so that they're going to be the Mandalorian team of two. And I guess that means automatically we're going to see more Baby Yoda in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. There's a lot of things that she talks about and stuff like that, and I was just like, wow, we're really getting a lot of information in this episode, and it was great, because it was like, okay, we're building and we're building and we're building. This is what we want. The Mandalorian, of course, gets his jetpack from the armorer, which is a moment that they sort of teased a little bit earlier when the other Mandalorians were fighting, and Mando was like, oh, I need to get me one of those jetpacks there. Of course, Boba Fett and some of the other Mandalorian armored clad people have had jetpacks in the past. So he gets his clan crest. So we got to see the big moment, or one of the big moments, a lot of big moments in this, the Mandalorian with his helmet off, him and IG-11. He gets shot in the back of the helmet there, and he's bleeding, or his head is aching, and IG-11 has to convince him to take it off, and Mandalorian's like, no, I can't show a living being, and IG's like, no, I'm not a living being, and we get to sort of see, of course, Pedro Pascal's face with the bed head and the sweat, and he does not look happy, so it was nice to see that they didn't really glamify that up, make it into like a little slow motion music video with the fan going, blowing his hair, stuff like that. The show's like real and gritty, and it does have its little silly funny moments, but at the heart of things, it's kind of like tough and gritty, and I like that. I like that a lot. So while I thought the Mandalorian finale did have some great action and grounded stuff going on there, towards the end when Moff Gideon is in his TIE fighter and flying around shooting at the Mandalorian and his group, that's when things got a little bit silly for me. And while it was fun to watch, I was kind of thinking to myself, well, why would Gideon, be just blasting away and trying to shoot down and kill the child? It's his mindset that, well, hey, if I can't have it alive, or if I can't have it, nobody can have it, something like that. I felt like something was a little bit missing, and it was a little reckless. But maybe he was just so aggro from losing all the stormtroopers inside and getting, the Mandalorian on the run there that he was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for broke or something like that. It seems a little strange because they've played Moff Gideon up as very highly intelligent and strategic. And this just seemed kind of like a gut reaction kind of thing. But ultimately, hey, it was fun to watch. We got a TIE fighter versus a Mandalorian action scene, and of course, Mandalorian wins, and the TIE fighter goes down, and you knew automatically that Gideon was going to just rise up from the ashes of that, and of course, we get the big reveal at the end. He has a dark lightsaber that he uses to chisel his way outside of the TIE fighter, and I thought this was cool to see, but then it was a little weird that he used that because the way the cockpit was, looks like he could have just pushed up the lid there and climbed out from the top. So they ultimately did this gag just to show us that lightsaber, and I just wish that the TIE fighter maybe was flips upside down or something like that, where you couldn't see the lid of the cockpit free, to just pop open there. That was a little poor, blocking direction or something like that. But hey, we got to see some stuff there. This is kind of a callback to the animated show. Well, I haven't seen all of Star Wars Clone Wars. I'm planning on kind of catching up a little bit in between, now that we got a break between The Mandalorian Season 2. But apparently that's like a callback to the dark saber, to all the Mandalorian lore and history there. So that was great. We got a lot of epic lore dropping stuff. I'm saying the word epic a lot in this. It's pretty much kind of like the way to sum up the season there. We got some funny stuff in the beginning with some of the stormtroopers trying to shoot at a little can and punching Baby Yoda, and just a great scene with IG-11 flying through the town and blasting people away. A little reckless on his end too, with Baby Yoda being in the back there. He could have gotten hurt, but maybe he just calculated all the risks in there, and we got to see a nice little standoff there. It felt like a little more of the Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid or something like that, references to old Western movies. So that was pretty cool. So rest in peace, IG-11. He had a glorious death and memorable and great character. And then of course, rest in peace, Queel, who was a great little side character as well. It seems that we never found out in this episode whose foot appeared at the end of the episode that on Tatooine, saving Fennec, the female bounty hunter. So that's still a little bit of a question. Was that Moff Gideon? Was that somebody else? I'm not really sure. You'll have to let me know in the comments below what your theories are. Season 2, they'll have to figure out a way to get rid of that tracking device or the whatever uses the DNA or something in Baby Yoda, so that they don't just get random bounty hunters or Imperial soldiers finding them and tracking them down. Maybe they could figure out a way to reprogram it or what, or maybe Grief is the only one that has like the security codes for that, and since he's now an ally again of the Mandalorian, he'll erase those codes or something. I'll be curious to see what happens with that, if that's sort of addressed. So anyway, I enjoyed The Mandalorian overall, and if you guys have watched it, I'm sure you've watched it and enjoyed it as well. If you didn't, or if you had some gripes or some issues or some Easter egg things you want to share in the comments below, do that. And thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you're having a great end of 2019. Look forward to seeing a lot of you in 2020 for CoinOpTV. We'll see you next time.